Welcome to the City of Scottsdale Economic Development Department's very first quarter in 10, a quarterly update brought to you in 10 minutes or less. My name is Rob Millar, Business Attraction Manager for the Scottsdale Economic Development Department. And with me is
Mark Parator, Economic Development Specialist with the City of Scottsdale Economic Development Department.
We have a lot of information to cover in 10 minutes, so we're going to go through some numbers, give you some rankings, and at the very end guide you just where you can get all this information on our website. In terms of the ranking and exceptional lifestyle, this is just some good information to make sure you understand where we are ranked nationally in a variety of sectors. Really good information here. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but in terms of housing, this slide breaks down to Airpark, downtown, and South Scottsdale, the average multifamily rent, as well as the average single-family residential price, to give you a flavor for the diversity in housing.
Yeah, and Rob, some of the major activity that you're seeing in Scottsdale is happening in the downtown and southern Scottsdale area. So for those listening today, keep an eye out for zip code 85251 and zip code 85257.
Education is a key component in site consideration when companies are evaluating the Scottsdale area. We have not only the Scottsdale Unified School District as well as the Paris Valley Unified School District, but we have one of the best charter schools in the country with Basis, which is the #1 ranked high school in the country here in Scottsdale.
Yeah, some great recognition, and it really starts at K through 12, and then the higher education within close proximity. As you mentioned, site selectors when working with companies as they're evaluating in a market, education is really high at their list.
They say, Mark, that a picture says a million words, and this graphic says it all in terms of market access, proximity to West Coast, and actually some western southwest regions. Really well located for companies that are trying to reach different locations within the market.
Yeah, and our proximity to and from Sky Harbor Airport, so short flights coming from California, the access to the highly skilled talent that we're finding here in the greater Phoenix and Scottsdale area, and as we mentioned earlier, attainable housing and commercial real estate also helps. Here's two graphs just kind of going through our top employers and some of our high-performing industries. Some of the notable names that you'll see as top employers: Honor Health, CVS, and Vanguard, as well as some of our larger industries continue to be healthcare, bio-life science, finance and insurance, ICT, which is information communication technology, and hospitality and tourism visitor trade, continues to be top on the list.
Yeah, and then as far as metro cost comparisons, we have a breakdown here just, again, to give you an idea of how we rank nationally compared to some of our top markets: Boulder, New York, San Francisco, Austin, Chicago. I think that the thing that stands out the most here is office lease rates are almost half of what you're seeing in New York, San Francisco, and considerably less than Austin, Chicago, and Boulder.
Yeah, and it's important to note out the regional cost of living index. That goes into a major factor when companies are looking to expand, as well as when future talent is considering relocating to an area. They want to see how far their dollar goes. So the regional cost of living index, is rather important. We're just going to go through some of development activity that we're seeing as far as commercial occupancy and vacancy trends. Rob, you want to take this?
Sure. Yeah, we track this quarterly as well: office, retail, and industrial. Vacancy rate for office, and then again, this is class A, B, and C. So the 12.3 vacancy rate is considered healthy. That's down 2.2 from the same quarter prior year. Retail at 6.8 is extremely healthy. Industrial seems to hover between 6 and 7% annually, and this is significantly caused by we don't have a lot of industrial locations in Scottsdale, so it's not a focus, but a very healthy rate. And then this just breaks it down even further by Airpark, downtown, and McDowell, and then also gives you a cost comparison compared to Metro Phoenix. And I think the takeaway on this slide is that we rank far better than the Metro Phoenix in each of the subsets of industrial, office, and retail.
And here's just an overview with some logos from some recent company announcements and expansions. As you can see, they come across from various sectors that we mentioned prior: ICT, as well as finance and insurance, hospitality, and the companies as well that are retained within Scottsdale, as well as expanding. You can see come from a variety of different sectors. Since 2015, we've had our approved economic development strategic plan, which is a 5-year plan. Here's some of the takeaways from that over the last couple of years. We've had, nearly $17 million of direct economic impact of the projects that we directly worked on, nearly 2,700 new jobs that were created by the companies within the first 12 months of operation, as well as retention expansion is a major component to economic development and one, high level priority here in Scottsdale with 243 retention visits. And here's some additional information as far as total economic impact of the projects over the last 5 years, almost $5 billion, with 1 million square feet of commercial space being absorbed and $149 million of new capital investment to the community. Now we're just going to go through the different employment corridors that we mentioned earlier: Airpark, Cure Corridor, downtown McDowell. The Scottsdale Airpark, boasts one of the largest employment centers in the state of Arizona for a multitude of reasons. Strategic access, being, first and foremost, and the ability for that workforce that's coming both from the East and the West Valley. The Cure Corridor, really starting at Scottsdale and Shea, has now grown and evolved into a community-wide effort with nearly 13% of Phoenix metro area's biolife science firms located here in Scottsdale, with an average wage of $60,000, is quite remarkable. As we move further south into the downtown area, this is another large employment center where companies, that are locating here for obvious reasons, with the proximity to and from nearby amenities, attainable housing, and as Rob alluded to, the downtown commercial vacancy rate and cost for commercial space far exceeds and outperforms those of some of the larger metro areas that we're finding across the country. And finally is the McDowell Road corridor, which is actively going through revitalization, with ASU SkySong really being at the core and the catalyst for that redevelopment. But we're seeing average single family, residential resale prices continue to skyrocket, and there's been significant investment, made in that area. We also track company investment activity every year. So as you can see from this chart here, nearly a quarter of the total investment activity in our region that we saw in 2016 was in Scottsdale-based firms. So Scottsdale continues to be ranked as the top location in the country, and was actually mentioned in a recent Data Fox article as the top 8th place in the country to launch a startup. So something that we're really proud of.
We couldn't possibly give you everything in 10 minutes, but so we're going to go through some areas where you can find more information on our website. But things like talent and labor analysis, executive support, physical launch. Really, our goal here is to make sure we can make the transition in location of Scottsdale as simple as possible.
And it's all for the price of?
Actually, $0.
Yeah, it's all free.
It's a great value.
Here's some of the publications that we've created out of our strategic marketing, area here in Scottsdale. Our Scottsdale Advantage, our Cure Corridor brochure, our Scottsdale Relocation Guide, and this just gives an overview of the different types of publications that you would have access to, both in hard copy and digital as well.
We get a lot of requests for those tech relocation guides too. Great resource.
Yeah, that kind of goes into our workforce assistance. So, we can open up space as companies are looking to hire for talent recruitment, new hire welcome service, and our relocation materials. Scottsdale Sites.
Scottsdale Sites is a great way that you can, luxury of at your computer anywhere in the world, you can look for information on sites within Scottsdale and the Phoenix metro area. You can really analyze any kind of site you want. Size Up?
Yeah, so a small business research tool that is also free. It helps you benchmark your business. You can map your competition and also find the best places to advertise. We also have a multitude of demographic data available on our Choose Scottsdale website, so definitely take a look at that.
A lot of information there.
Yeah.
The other thing is important to note is that we're your partner throughout the process. We are your liaison to all city departments, and as we work through whether it's a simple TI or a build-a-suit, we are your partner through the entire process with dedicated services.
Some of our upcoming events and programs, we have a small business training series that we do both in the spring and in the fall. That will begin here November 7th on Tuesday evenings over at 1951 at Skysong. Our 5th annual Scottsdale Pure Quarter event will be December 8th. And our downtown small business gathering, which we just launched in partnership with the Scottsdale Area Chamber.
Wow, I'm exhausted, Mark. Great job. Appreciate that. Everybody being here for our very first one. Make sure you check out choosescottsdale.com. See you next time.